let's talk about watch mistakes or traps people should not fall into.
So one that we both agree on is avoid designer watches as much as possible, no matter how good looking they are.
Yeah, please do not buy a Diesel, Tommy Hilfiger, like none of these.
Yeah. So these are not something that you add to your collection. Unless someone gifts them to you, that's okay. I mean, you can still wear them, but if you're investing your own money into a watch, you buy the other watches that we
all of these
recommended,
kind of fashion watches, right? They're all made by brands who have no heritage in watchmaking at all.
Correct.
And coming back to someone like Timex. Timex started in 1854. They've been making watches since then. So in your mind, Timex may not be cool, but in the watch enthusiast space, Timex is very cool right now.
Correct. So you have that respect when you wear a Timex, and in terms of the price point, the designer watches are just, the prices are absurd. Right?
Yeah, it's you
can't justify the price. Yeah. They're like maybe 3 times what a Timex would cost. But
my other pet peeve is when someone wears a Daniel Wellington or talks about a Daniel Wellington.
That's a complete no.
And I will say one thing which might piss off a lot of people, but if your favorite fashion influencer talks about Daniel Wellington, they do not know about watches.
They do not know about watches, yeah. I've said no. I mean, I'm not like boasting about it, but I've never taken up that brand to talk about on my page because I can't relate to it. Yeah. I know they're a success story on social media with the
Daniel
kind of
Wellington
digital success they had.
At one point was the fastest growing company in Europe.
Yeah.
Not the fastest growing watch company, fastest growing company in Europe.
Yeah.
So great success story. I love what they've done with it, but zero relevance in the watch enthusiast community.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's one watch you don't really need to own.
Like if you end up wearing a Daniel Wellington, if anyone knows anything about watches, they'll know one thing, that you have no idea about watches.
You have no idea about watches, yes. I think another mistake a lot of people make is, they end up buying watches. I'm talking about the post-purchase mistake. We don't end up maintaining them. So it's very important to take care of your watches because eventually you'll have those 3 favorites that you'll keep rotating on a daily basis. But there are other watches that need proper care and maintenance because that's how a watch will survive for like a longer period of time. So I think take care of your watches as much as possible.
That's a good point. I think for a lot of people, watch maintenance is just never something you never think of. But think of it like a car engine, right?
Yeah.
So many mechanical parts coming together. I also want to say one more thing about making mistakes of getting into this space, right? Don't buy a watch just because you've seen it on someone else's wrist just like that. Please try it out because a lot of times watches could look too small or too big on your own wrist. And I'm someone who likes smaller watches, vintage stuff. So even 36mm, 38mm. But for a lot of people, smaller watches may be too small sometimes. And a lot of times chunkier, especially these fashion watches can just look awfully big. So before you just buy something, definitely get to a showroom and try it.
Correct. I think that's a very important point because one, don't go with the hype. Like you said, if someone else is buying it or something which is very popular right now, you're just buying it for the sake of it, not because you want to wear it. So buy something that you'll actually wear and that will look good on your wrist.